Hey there, kids. Welcome back to the show. This is The Elder, as always. Thank you for your support and thank you for joining us on today's episode. We have a returning guest. He did great his first time around, and now we're welcoming him back. So without further ado, let's get into the episode with our returning guest, Daniel DeKeyrel of Thieves Magic. That was a fucking bummer, huh? What a fucking failure, man.
Nah, dude. It's probably just like one little setting somewhere.
I swear, and I was going over it with this dumb fucking soundboard that I have. I'm like, it's connected where it needs to be connected. What's going on? And the Discord recognized the device, so I was like, I don't know. I'm at a loss.
Fucking wild.
What a bummer. Anyway, welcome back. How's it going?
Let's fucking go. How about you?
It's going. Real quick, for those of you guys joining us, we have a returning guest. He is Daniel DeKeyrel of Thieves Magic. He was a fucking killer his first time around, so he agreed to come back for a hefty sum of unmarked gold coins in a little bag.
It's just that's how I make my living. Okay.
You sit at the crossroads and wait for fucking adventurers to come by, and you're like, hey, I have this quest. And have you seen those videos?
I am the NPC, and yeah, dude.
Those fucking
those videos are sick,
dude.
I fucking love them. Please don't skip when he's like skipping through all the words and like the storyline, and the dude gets all pissed off and he's like attacking him.
What have you been up to since we last spoke?
Oh God, what have I been up to? I don't even know what I've been up to, really. I've been trying to work. It's harvest season for me right now, so it's really hard. Like, I'm like swamped all the time right now.
A lot of Stardew Valley, huh?
Yeah. A harvest season of the almonds. I've been trying to get out a lot of content lately.
Which I've seen. That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, so after we stopped talking last, I went and I got I hired a video editor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was that going?
I went and hired a video editor, and so honestly, it keeps me more accountable, because like now it's like I'm paying this dude, I need to get the clips, so I need to do this. Like I don't want to waste the money.
What was
now I'm just dumping money into this.
What was the process for that? Because we touched on it the last time we talked, but what was like the actual process of getting that done?
I know Fiverr's a good spot, and I have one other video editor that I work with who did like a montage of all my videos prior to this. I follow this guy on Twitter, and he's part of a gaming organization, and I was trying to get into the gaming team, but he started going in a different direction, and he started editing videos and becoming social media manager for people. So I was like, oh, bet I'll just hire this guy. And so now I just dump money into him and see what my results are, you know?
It's cool, though, because to me, from like an outside perspective from the last time we talked, it was like fucking content just started coming out like consistently, like a lot. And it was cool because after we talked, I mean, that was, one of the main points that we had talked about was just like getting shit out again. It was cool as fuck to see more of your stuff come out, and and to see you, I guess your presence. I hate fucking using words like that, but to see that you had your presence was out there again. Do you receive any feedback when you put stuff out?
Not really, no. The guy I pay kind of watches the videos and looks at them, and I'll send him some data sometimes, and we'll see if we'll go over stuff so that way I can see what I need to change on my end.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're growing the TikTok right now. Yeah. So we're kind of focused on TikTok videos and retention rates and stuff. The problem is I don't have a lot of time to stream still. Yeah. So I'm putting out a lot more content, but it's literally like I'm only playing for like an hour a day. So I don't think it's good enough for me to stream for like an hour a day. So what I'm trying to do is like stream at least once a week right now. At least minimum once a week. So that way I can just get, some time in with people who want to come and watch me play and talk with people. But now I'm kind of just focused on like, okay, if I can play for an hour today, I can get some clips. I know I'll get clips as long as I play for like an hour a day. So I'm just constantly trying to play for like an hour a day. And the feedback I get, I don't know. I haven't really had anyone like say anything negative about anything.
You're seeing views and like you're getting likes and stuff like that, like things that are relevant to what you're putting out.
I'd say I'm growing at a steady pace. I'd say it's probably doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I think like I went from, okay, we're in our second month. Yeah, we're in our second month. And I didn't like blow up or anything on TikTok, but I've gone from, I think it was like 70 followers to like 103 followers, which is pretty good. So like a follower a day almost.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, that's cool.
If I can keep that up for a couple months, I think I'll be solid.
It's funny because after we talked, that was one of the main things that I kind of like injected myself in, was reading up more about just some of the things that you touched on, like retention rate and, you know, like seeing what should be focused on and what shouldn't be focused on as far as like what we're putting out or what I'm putting out.
Yeah. And I noticed you were posting a lot more on TikTok too.
Yeah, it's taking me a little bit just because I'm going back through past episodes and I'm trying to compile what I can of like clips or highlights or what sticks out to me, and then making those into clips to put out as audiograms, you know? It's fun, but it's time consuming. And
I bet.
I try to do like a few at a time just because I'm going through and I'm re-editing some of the sound clips, and just to give them more depth from what was in the clip. Like if it's a clip that doesn't have any background music, then I have to go back and find and insert background music that has like a nice vibe that flows with what we're talking about. That was like one of the clips with myself and Jose the Dad. It was one of the first ones that I put up. And the main thing was like I had to go back and insert background music that flowed with what we were talking about. Because it's not like super serious or anything. It's really goofy and it's funny. And I had to go back and edit it because I wanted it to have like a general feel to what you're listening to. That way you're like, oh, wow, this is funny.
Yeah, I miss those more simple times. Everything has to be fucking multiplayer now. Oh, play with all your friends. We're going to have so much fun. It's like, I don't have any friends who like this game.
Like, I don't have any friends in general.
How am I going to play?
My mom doesn't know how to play Xbox.
That ambiance right there.
Yeah. Honestly, I wanted an atmosphere
it's like
for it.
That's the umami of podcasts right there, the ambiance.
Yeah, I just want to make
My bad, I was watching Food Wars again.
No, you're good. Dude, so yeah, I wanted to add depth to it, but the thing is I'm finding myself more worried about looking into improvements, and I've fallen to the wayside for putting out fucking episodes. And then, you know, like Inside Baseball, when we talked the other day, I was like, dude, I really just gotta get back and fucking make an episode or two or something. So that's what I've been doing.
I think once you get back into like the habit of doing something, like it feels good.
Yeah.
You know, like you feel good about yourself. You're like, oh dude, like back on track. We're doing it again. And for me, it was kind of hard to like this whole past week, it's been really kind of hectic with the twins.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fussiness, but like, so it's been kind of hard to stream. I know that like if I stay up late or whatever, like I'll usually sacrifice sleep to get like what I need done. Like I'm up till about 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's the real shit, dude. That's the same shit I do.
It's crazy, dude. And it's like, fuck, I'll show up to work tired as hell, but it's like, whatever, it's worth it. Because I know I'm getting like what I paid. Like I have to do it. I'll tell Marissa, I'll be like, I have to do this. I'm paying this guy all this money. I gotta fucking do it.
Well, see, that's the catch for you, is like you're paying someone. You've now invested and you're adding equity to like what your brand is, you know? And for me, a lot of it is still very like nonprofit. It's all me. But the thing is, it's like I have the motivation to do it because I myself have invested so much time and like money into just equipment and like the means to make this, to work on this as more as because it's become like a serious hobby. It's not like, to use our boy Tony as a fucking example, he has a fucking flight simulator or some bullshit in his house, you know?
That sounds sick.
And it costs, I'm sure, you know, a few racks, but he is a hobbyist, you know?
Yeah. And, for sure. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at all my Magic cards on my table right now.
like we talked about the first time around, it's like we've invested enough time to where it's more than just like
You put so much money into it that now it's like, okay, if I don't do it, I just wasted a bunch of money for nothing.
yeah, honestly.
It's like I just got to get the use out of it.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like I have it, I need to fucking use it because I was so gung ho about getting serious about it, and now that I have it, it's like I gotta fucking use it, or else it's just a waste of time.
I actually got invited to do well. Like also for me, I don't know how you feel about this, but like so, what was it? The other day I was on a gaming podcast. Real quick, I got invited to go on to a gaming podcast.
So you're cheating on me now.
I'm just doing interviews, man. They paid me in coin. That's all. For hire. Slut of podcasts over here. I found it to be like, I don't know. I find like just sitting back and talking is super therapeutic.
It's fun, dude.
Like I find it like you don't have to worry about nothing. We're just bullshitting. We're on a vibe. Like it feels good. I love it.
It's really cool, and that's something that I'm really fucking gun shy in like making the jump at that, because there is some opportunity there for me as well in that same aspect to like reach out and stuff. And I've put it out myself, on a couple of episodes. I've been like, hey, like if you guys want to fucking collaborate, anybody that listens or that tunes in that wants to just talk about nerdy shit, like let's run it. But I myself am very gun shy to do that as well. And not because it's like I like talking to people. I really do. Especially when it's something that I know that I can talk about, that it wouldn't be like so awkward. Or whatever,
Yeah.
It's something, because the one thing that you do find like in utilizing for something like podcasting, there's a bunch of groups that you could follow on Reddit, Facebook, whatever. And it's all people that are like, oh, well, I podcast and this and that. And people will submit questions and they're like, hey, like, how do I, do X, Y, and Z? And a lot of times you find people that are like, hey, like, this is my podcast. I'm going to throw out my link and see if you guys want to tune in or not. I'm an entrepreneur, wizard, medicine woman, a politician, comedian. I'll teach you about nutrition. And I'm like, my thing when I started to get really serious about this was like, what is my niche and who can I talk to? I'm a fucking pro wrestling fan. I'm an avid fucking nerd. I'm really mediocre at fucking video games. It's all nerdy shit. It falls within the umbrella of nerdy shit. So I can do that. I can talk about that with people.
Yeah.
I don't want to reach out and, I'm not going to be an asshole and be like, well, I have a treadmill, so I know about nutrition. I'm fine, dude. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, and
I'm going to put you in a calorie deficit and you're going to lose a shitload of weight. Jesus Christ.
Liver King here. I just want to let you pussies know.
Why have vegetables when you can have testicles?
But it's like, I'm not going to outkick my fucking coverage. I know who I'm speaking to, I'm not going to bullshit and say that I'm 100 things plus, something else. I'm not. I can't talk to you about fucking politics. I could talk to you about like fucking, TV or something, but I can't talk to you about the only politics.
Well, that's what you want to keep it though, because like your niche is how you grow. Like,
yeah, and
you just don't want to be like I think, and this is a problem with like my streaming. So my streaming is Warzone usually.
Yeah.
And it's not really a niche because everyone fucking plays Warzone. Everyone's dropping content for Warzone. So like, I'm in like an ocean right now of people. So it's like really hard to grow off of like that platform. So like if you keep it to like a small platform, like, your niche, you talk about pro wrestling, you talk about nerdy stuff, and all of a sudden it's like you have thousands of followers because it's not, how many people are actually doing it.
But in that sense, the real thing is like in the same way that you're saying it for me with with like that market of like, hey, there's people that are leaps and fucking bounds ahead of what I'm doing that have video aspects, audio aspects that have whole ass teams that cover social media and bullshit like that,
Yeah.
And one could say that it is a really saturated market, but at the same time, it is a very dedicated market in the same way that for you, your main market or whatever, although it is gaming, it's specifically, like you said, it's, it pertains to like Warzone. And although that market is, like you said, like it's flooded, but there's so many fucking people that will find you because specifically they're looking into Warzone, dude. Like, if you go on YouTube and you look at one stream of Warzone, a million streams will pop up for like related or suggested,
YouTube discoverability is so good for people right now.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is like, I'd love to jump on fucking YouTube. I follow a lot of channels that do like just real, not remedial, but it's like good clean audio with like inserted art, as opposed to a setup like
with like camera,
like Joe Rogan
everything.
and shit,
Okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I just don't have the space for that. But like an audio video, like, hey, today I'm talking about, like Andre the Giant. Insert a clip of Andre the Giant here or something,
That would be sick.
But it's the same thing. It's the audio video. Video really is what from what I gather is where it's fucking at, dude.
Yeah, that and the I forget what they're called. The cover photo. Bro, the cover photo of everything is so important.
I know what you mean, but it's like,
I watch people with like good videos, and it's like, but they'll never get watched because they don't have the right attention grabbing clip on the front, and it's like, oh.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of people utilize like very clickbaity type pictures, like with like the Home Alone face, and you're like, I can't believe what I just got from this fucking magic pack.
Yeah.
And people are like, whoa, what did you get? And then you tune in, and it's just you like, oh hey,
I got a basic fucking land. You got a 20-cent land.
I'm playing Digimon today. Tricked you motherfuckers. But that's what it is, I mean, there is something cool to like, again, to use like a Joe Rogan setup when you see like, oh, it's episode whatever, and then it's him sitting across the table from fucking whoever, person of interest number 1.
Yeah.
Something like that's cool. When I think of YouTube, I think more in the sense of like, especially because I see what my daughter watches, being that she's like 9. She watches a lot of like the Sniper Wolf, and which I'm like, I don't know if you should be watching this fucking bitch, but she watches real like, and like my son watches Lanky Box, and they're goofy fucks, but they have millions of fucking people that tune in for them, and they're playing Roblox, fucking 30-year-olds and shit.
Fucking Roblox, man.
Hey, Roblox is poison, dude. that shit's good. I salute you, like fucking John Cena in the Marine, for having twins that hopefully will miss fucking all that.
Oh my god!
But they're gonna be.
Who knows what'll be out by the time?
They're gonna be telling you, Dad, we need the new fucking microchip, please.
Oh god, Dad, this new VR came out. It's like legit real. Dude, I don't even know. I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be wild when they grow up. I'm like excited for gaming in the future for them, but like scared at the same time because I'm like, well, who knows what it's gonna be like.
Well, that was like me. We had bought my daughter a Switch at one point, but we made the mistake of buying it too early because she can't read, or she couldn't read at the time. She couldn't read, and
so you bought yourself a Switch, is what you're telling me.
So I kept the fucking Switch. So Papa kept the fucking Switch. This is my game now, and but now she's into like, it's funny because you see how progressive like gaming is, and it ties into this fucking statistic that I saw the other day where it's like people, like right now TV is losing in a landslide to the statistics that are coming out for people viewing streaming and through devices and stuff. They're using streaming platforms and not TV. The same thing is with my to tie it into what I was saying about my daughter is we thought she was going to be wanting to use a Switch. She uses the fucking tablet. She only games on the tablet, and it's for, again, shit like Roblox and like Minecraft, and the like app-based gaming is what she's accustomed to. So she doesn't even think about a console or anything. And it's funny because like I had put away, I have an old GameCube still. I still have a PS2. I have a Game Boy SP, and I'm like, I in my head, like the old fucking nerdy guy that I am, I'm like, one day my kids will love this shit, you know? To tie it
Hopefully.
to tie it in with you, you know, like, you know, to have to want to introduce and have the enthusiasm to introduce gaming to the twins. But
Yeah.
it's like, what will be the type of gaming? Like, could you hang on to a, I don't know, like a PS5 now or like a PC now and be like, hey, this is Steam, and they're like, what? Because like, what?
Back in my day, these graphics were the shit.
Like, what if, you know, I don't know, for, I don't know, PC fucking like Alienware and shit, but, and they're like, yeah, dad, this is the fucking VR capsule. This is the VR, you know, whatever.
Take this pill, Dad. It'll just shoot you into the fucking Ethernet and fucking.
Insert this fiber optic cable into your fucking wrist, dad. Like, what if that is what you're looking at with your twins, you know? If it's like gaming is just has progressed so much that it's like, oh, it's all VR, completely VR, or some bullshit.
That would be nutty.
And they're like, no, dad,
That'd be so crazy.
when you get shot, like, this is Warzone, but it's VR. When you get
Like-
shot, like, it's like getting hit, fucking shot for real.
Like, I've always pictured that. Like, what if they had like you're in VR and stuff, and like as you're running around. Like, I seen one guy who was like on like a treadmill or something. He had like all this stuff
Okay,
attached to him, and like
yeah.
he could like squat down or whatever, and he would squat down in the game and stuff. And like, I think like depending on where he got shot, like it either vibrated or sent like a little shock or something to like where he got shot. Like not enough to hurt you, but like enough to make you go like, oh shit, I'm getting shot here.
Yeah,
And it's like,
I think it is vibration, but I know what you're talking about. They have places like that in Vegas. I guess they
oh
have.
no shit.
Yeah, they have like I don't know what you would call it, like a VR gaming room or something, or like a center.
I think that's really where gaming's gonna go in the future. Like you're just gonna have like a fucking pod or something, and you're gonna hook yourself up to it, and fucking you're gonna be in some virtual world.
There was a movie that came out, it was an animated movie, and it was called Summer Wars. It was an anime, and basically it focuses on the idea of like kind of what we're seeing right now with the metaverse, where a company has created now basically the metaverse. It was that idea of like a virtual world where people do all kinds of crazy shit, and it has to do with like this virus sweeping the entire like fucking network and whatever, you know. And obviously like the main protagonists of the movie have to stop it, but one of the characters is this kid who's like a little shy, withdrawn, like a little misfit kid, but he's like the top fighter in this fucking game, and he's like, well, I could stop the virus. And so in this thing, he's like a fighting fucking champion, but it's, you know, in like a metaverse type setting.
It sounds like Sword Art Online almost.
Yeah. Or like, do you remember Dot Hack?
Yeah.
So it was like that.
Hack was
Dot Hack. It was like that. But it is that idea of like you're living a second life or something, you know?
But see, and that's like after watching like watching Sword Art Online and Dot Hack and all those, like, yeah, it seems really cool, and I definitely want to do it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, what if that shit really happens?
Well, you know what's crazy is like, I think if I remember correctly with Dot Hack, one of the main characters, like, it also borders on that idea of like transcending from like a physical body and having your consciousness uploaded, you know? Because I think in Dot Hack, I want to say that like the main character was dead, and like it was her consciousness or something, or their consciousness.
Shit.
I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but their consciousness.
Well, I just read something the other day about that. Like, I think they were talking about like by the year like 2060 or something, instead of dying, you can like fucking hook your brain up to some metaverse that they're gonna make, and you'll just be fucking alive in like a different virtual world for like the rest of your life.
Like Black Mirror. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have.
Black Mirror had an episode like that.
Just some Matrix shit.
That's weird. It's interesting, but it's fucking scary, dude. Like that's such a scary thing to think, like that there will be someone at some point, if they're not around right now, that is gonna, you know, upload us to a fucking computer if we want. If you have the money, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah, it's trippy.
Put me on a fucking USB stick, son.
Fucking no, No, my luck, my ass would catch some laggy ass server.
I'm like, fuck, I'm a virus. God damn it. This shit
If I'm
sucks.
on some China server or something.
Your kids are gonna be like, we have to pay Pop subscription or he's gonna go away. Fuck, dude.
Keep your Papa alive for
Keep Pop
$15 a
alive,
month
yeah.
for the rest of your life. Visit them whenever you want.
$29.99 optional. and it comes with Disney Plus. Fuck yeah.
Bro, I can see that happening though.
That's bundle Pop with grandma. He's like, no, he never liked grandma. That's so fucking funny.
That'd be wild, man.
That would be wild. I'm sure we'd fucking do it, dude. We suck. People suck. But fucking don't think that like it wouldn't miss me to be like, hey, dude, I'm fucking, y'all better upload me because I don't know that I want to.
Y'all better start paying that deluxe premium package, okay?
I'm like, dude,
I better get the starter bundle with my shit.
Just upload me into a Tesla. I don't know. I was thinking the other day too, touching back on that, like for introducing her kids to stuff. I took my, I posted on my story for Instagram, but I took my daughter to go see the new Dragon Ball Super movie.
Oh, how was it?
And oh, dude, it was some real cool shit, honestly. And that's the thing. It's like it really lost me in the series, but I've always been like 100% like down to watch the movies because I've owned the movies since I was a kid, like going back to like Dead Zone.
Oh shit!
I've had all of them on VHS and like on DVD. But right now my daughter, she's building up on anime. She's watching Demon Slayer right now, and
oh nice.
But yeah, she's really into Demon Slayer right now, and I was gonna buy the tickets for Super, and so I bought 2. She liked it.
Dude, Dragon Ball Z I love Dragon Ball Z.
This one especially, the story itself, like if you remember enough of the show, like the old show, not even like newer stuff, but if you remember basically the saga, the initial saga through like the Majin Buu saga,
okay, yeah,
a lot of
all that stuff.
A lot of key shit that happened through that era is brought up, and it's like a real fucking nostalgia trip. It's so fucking dope, dude. Even some of the older movies come into play, like things that have happened, like past events. It was a fucking nostalgia trip for me, dude. I was like, let's go. I remember that. And it was nothing but older guys, bro. It was just like, it was older dudes, older guys and their kids. Obviously, like nerdy fucking 20-somethings, like high schoolers and their fucking girlfriends and shit. But
I think it's just sick that Dragon Ball is still going strong with people.
My thing is, I get like, it isn't for me anymore. Like it's ran through several courses, so like I can't really follow it. Not to say that it isn't fucking cool, because it was like the initial introductory point for me as far as for anime. And
yeah, same.
I followed it for a long time. I owned a lot of like, you know, the video games and the movies and whatever, but you know, it ran its course for me. But in that same sense, it is very interesting for me because I've said it before, like I don't know if kids are still interested in Dragon Ball Z when you have other franchises that are making, like, not to say that they're outdoing Dragon Ball Z, but when I think of Dragon Ball Z, I feel like it is a very time sensitive, like, type of anime. Like you were in a Dragon Ball Z like between a certain year, you know?
Yeah.
So
because I kind of stopped keeping up with it. I think I want to say I stopped watching it almost after the Majin Buu series.
I think I know for sure I lost track of it, but I even, the last time I watched the entire series was, I think when I was like 24 or 25. One of the other co-hosts, the Nomad, he had the entire series at one point, and like all the seasons, and I was watching it, and I just went back and rewatched it. It's still really fucking cool, dude. I think it's cool that there are people that are still interested in it. I mean, I don't know if it still has the same impact. It's cool to see, you know?
I didn't mean to do that. Please, continue. You were saying something about...
For me, so it's weird, but one of our TVs has an Xfinity hub on it. And so I was looking through it the other day because my daughter wanted to use my Crunchyroll. And so I was like, well, let me see if this hub has Crunchyroll so that I can download the app. And it didn't have the app, but it had this fucking app called Retro Crush. And it's nothing but fucking anime. It's like 2000s through like 80s fucking anime.
Oh, shit.
Dude, it had fucking
I'm going to have to
fire
look
on
into
it.
that.
It's called Retro Crush. Shout out to them if y'all want to fucking hit your boy up. But it had fucking...
I've been using VRV right now.
Yeah, I use Crunchyroll now that I had Funimation and Crunchyroll, and then once the merge happened, I was like Crunchyroll all day. This fucking app, dude, it had pure fucking heat on it, and it hit for me because it was all the shit that used to come out when I was a kid. Like when I first started watching anime, and I didn't know what it was. It was coming out on the Spanish speaking channels that my grandma and grandpa watched. Like it was all the shit that would come on like at 6 in the morning. And so this was all the shit that I watched, and this app has it, and it was fucking heat, dude. All of it was heat. The Yu Yu Hakusho was on it, Knights of the Zodiac, and then Ronin Warriors. But it's pure fucking heat, dude. Lupin the Third and shit. It was tight. And
That's sick.
My daughter started watching that, but once I got her on Crunchyroll, she was like, "What's my dress up darling?" I was like, "Oh no, dude, we ain't watching this shit." I was like, "Hey, we ain't watching this right now."
Dude, what's coming out right now that I'm super hyped for? Oh, they're remaking Vash the Stampede, which I'm super excited for. Oh, the new arc for Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, Yomp looks fucking crazy,
dude.
I was so hyped for that. I was so hyped, like for all those announcements. What do you think about the look for Trigun? Because that's one of those ones that was around when we were kids. That was like one of the real strong animes.
I haven't seen too much of anything of the new stuff yet. I haven't had time to like look into it deeply, but I'm excited for it. I think with some new art, because I tried rewatching the old stuff, and I'm like, it's still really good. Don't get me wrong, but like the artwork just needs to be updated.
It was like a main point of focus at one point. It had its time, and with the new announcement for, I guess it's a reboot. I don't know, or it's like I think it's a
like
new story?
A prequel to Vash. I think it's like a prequel for Vash. I think because I think it's like I don't think they're calling it I think they're calling it Vash the Stampede.
I'm not sure. You're probably right. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I recognize it for like what it is, but a lot of things that I've been seeing now, like the feedback that people are putting out is a lot of people don't like the fucking animation for it, and because they've gone back and obviously like it's a newer animation style and a newer like production style, but people aren't liking like character design that they've gone with for like Vash and then like some of the other characters. But I was like, dude,
that's the other thing I have to realize. Like when we grew up watching it, it was what we liked, and now they're not marketing it really towards us. They're marketing it toward a new generation of kids that want to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like they have to change it. And it's like, I understand it. Like, sure, it may not, like, you may not like it, but you got to understand that, like, it's being marketed not really for us. It's our nostalgia, but it's the new age of keeping it alive and keeping that legacy alive.
Yeah, it's an all new. I mean, it's an established franchise, but it's a new product because there's more people into fucking anime and manga now than fucking just like
ever before.
Then
it's kind of crazy
now, dude.
How like
especially now
back in our day you were just some nerdy kid and fucking lame if you watched anime. Now everyone's fucking watching anime.
That's why
everyone.
It's funny how impactful and like how much of a range that something like anime has. It's funny now because of the way that we have so much connectivity with each other via like social media and whatever. But like back when you read like the initial articles of like Megan Thee Stallion being like, oh yeah, I'm a big Black Clover fan, and then recently an article came out that when she was in Japan, she went to go visit the JoJo's Bizarre like exhibit, and
That's sick.
and she's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, you know, because people like this, you know people that are like very into fucking anime. Look at
Yeah.
did you have a chance to watch the movie Nope?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so there is one particular scene that's an homage to the old anime movie Akira.
Ooh.
And if you've seen Akira and if you are familiar with the franchise, you will recognize like the scene once it happens. And
That's sick.
I noticed it right away. And maybe a day or two later, I was watching just some of the reels on Instagram, and a reel came up for Jordan Peele, the director, getting interviewed. And I want to say it's like just a side conversation that was happening before the interview or after. But the interviewer is like, hey, that scene in the movie, it was an homage and I noticed it. And Jordan Peele fucking was geeked. He was like, dude, I got to fucking do that because I knew people were going to recognize what the fuck that was from. And he was so
That's
fucking happy about adding it. And I was like, yo, we would have never fucking known. But it's like it's the same thing in Ready Player One. When Ready Player One came out, the same thing, they did the homage to Akira. And then for people who are like longtime fans of anime, during the third act, they have this big scene where like that little virtual world that everybody games in is they're having this fucking war. There's a specific scene where they're like, this certain player that's in there, he's like, I'm going to activate the Gundam. And I was like, what the fuck? And he calls in a whole ass Gundam. He calls in the Gundam from back in the day that was piloted by Amuro Ray. It's like the Gundam, the very first one. And I fucking, dude, I was there even thinking about it now. Like, I get very shook up by shit like that because I was like, when we were kids, we didn't know that shit like this was going to happen. And then seeing it, like, it's the same thing with Marvel movies. It's the same thing with, I remember being in 7th grade when Hellboy was announced. And I was reading Hellboy as just a comic fan, and Hellboy was announced as a movie, and I fucking was like, what are we doing here? Like, it's unreal. It seems cheesy, I get it, you know, and it seems very, like, childish, but it's crazy to see shit like that. Like, to see a Transformers movie come out, and you're like, I used to watch this as a cartoon. Like, this is a fucking real life movie. Like, shit like
That's
that.
sick,
It's wild when
Super
franchises
dope.
like that come out. It's cool to see when people are very like invested in these franchises now. Just talking about anime, have you seen Vinland Saga?
Vinland Saga. I think I started, but I haven't finished it yet.
It's like Norse based. It has to do with like the Vikings and their invasion of England.
Yeah. I
so-
started watching that. I haven't finished it yet, though.
So I just finished the first season. And I believe the second season was announced for later this year. Maybe. I could have that wrong too. But dude, I just finished it and I was like, yo, this was so fucking hard. And because it's more of like a drama, like there's action and shit, obviously, but like no one's throwing fireballs. It's fucking Vikings.
That's sick.
And it was cool as fuck, dude. I really like, I dug. I was really digging the angle and of the story for that whole show. That was a cool one that I saw recently, was fucking Vinland Saga.
I just recently saw, what was I watching? I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across this. All right, so hear me out on here. It's another live action. I know how most people feel about live actions. They're not the greatest. But there's a fan-made Naruto live action, and it's going to be the Ninja Wars.
I'm hanging up on you.
It's so sick, though, dude. I swear to God. It looks dope. It looks really clean. It's not made by like a giant producer or anything. This is straight up fan made,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks pretty dope. I'll send you a couple clips. You can hate me later, but I think it looks pretty solid.
There is. So my thing is with there is a right way and there is a wrong way to fucking doing a lot of like live action and fan made stuff. And I think that is the issue that a lot of fans of these franchises face, because we don't want to see bullshit, but we don't want to see like, I don't know, we just want to see it done well. You know, my thing for like live action movies, like with the announcement for the Netflix adaptation of The Last Airbender, it's supposed to be live action. The Last Airbender was tight. But then you look at like the main reference that we had for live action was the fucking M. Night Shyamalan adaptation, and that was fucking stupid, you know?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Or look at Dragon Ball Evolution. That was a piece of shit movie too. Like that fucking ruined a lot of kids, dude. That was like
even Death Note. I was
the Netflix
severely
adaptation.
disappointed. Yeah, I was severely disappointed with Netflix's Death Note.
So that's the thing. Like if you look at the original adaptation, like the Japanese adaptation that they made, it was really fucking corny. But it was really corny because it was basically just a bunch of cosplayers like reenacting scenes from the fucking anime, you know, in a movie style or whatever. And then you look at like when they introduced Ryu, they're like all like PlayStation graphics, and they're like, "Hey, it's me, Ryu. I'm fucking here's a Death Note." And it's like it was corny, dude. It was like it's really bad. But then you look at the Death Note for Netflix, and it's like you had a really good cast, and like you had fucking Willem Dafoe play Ryuk, which could have been like really, really good, and that was a dog shit movie too.
Yeah.
But then you look in comparison to like the did you ever see the Attack on Titan fucking live actions?
I didn't.
Dude, they're fucking they'll tuck your dick in your stomach, dude. They're terrible.
Ooh.
They're really bad. They're fucking really bad.
Did you watch the Ghost in the Shell live action?
I did not, and I've heard mixed reviews about it. I've heard that it's okay, and then I've heard that it's like really, really bad.
See, same.
But
I haven't watched it, but like I kind of want to watch it for myself just to see.
With Marvel wanting to introduce mutants into the MCU, there has been not an argument, but a discussion as far as casting for Professor X. So Giancarlo Esposito of Better Call Saul and like Breaking Bad, The Mandalorian, he's now inserted himself in the conversation as like, hey, I would love to be Professor Xavier. I also saw a discussion where he was like, you know, he didn't suggest it himself, but someone suggested that Giancarlo Esposito could play Magneto. And on the one hand, I'm like, he would be an amazing fucking Professor X, just himself. Whereas we've had the discussion before, if the one thing for Magneto is that his character is a Holocaust survivor. So how would you retell that story of Magneto as you know, someone of African descent, you know? You would have to change it.
Yeah, you'd have to change the whole story.
You would have to do like a total retelling of this character, because the main point is like, what if people get upset because they're like, well, he was a Holocaust survivor, like that was like his character was a profile for a lot of people that probably aren't like really depicted in movies, and like that's cool as fuck, but I'm sure it would cause some kind of issue if you were to be like, well, now it's a guy of African descent who is this fucking character.
Yeah, I could see that being a problem. I mean, fuck, just write him in as like his successor or something. That's what I would do.
I don't know. It's there was kind of a similar conversation like that for Black Panther, because the character of Namor is Mexican, and they're like, why the fuck did you make him Mexican? Because in the comics he's an Atlantean, or he's like a human Atlantean hybrid, something like that, but he's depicted as just like a fair-skinned fucking guy, but they don't give him a general ethnicity. You know, he's Namor the Submariner, you know, like protector of the sea or whatever. But in this one, Namor is of well, the actor is Mexican, but he's like an Atlantean. He's a descendant of like a Mayan or Aztec culture. This guy, that's the way they depict him, and I was like, that's fucking cool. Like for me, that's a big deal, but someone could get fucking upset about that. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. Like it was cool as shit for me. I was like, yo, what's up with my fucking Mexicans? But I don't know, dude. It's just different factors.
I mean, I get if you're like completely changing the whole story. Like I get it. Like, okay, yeah, you have to change the whole story now. It doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? But I don't know. I think if it's done well enough, I think people can look past it. I mean, I guess being white, like that kind of me that much. I don't know.
That's hella
You
funny.
know what I mean?
You're like being white. Hey, we drive Japanese cars and like Mexican food. I don't know what to tell you.
I was, yeah, yeah. like,
That's
I guess there's enough representation of white people out there that like I just don't like think of like that kind of stuff.
yeah, exactly. Daniel, fucking patriarchy.
Oh, fucking.
um, you fucking racist. Yeah, there's plenty of white people out there, dude. Give some more color to the fucking world, man. As we I guess as we can start to wind down with just a little more with just some of like the remedial questions. Have you caught up with anything lately? TV, movies?
I'm actually trying to catch up and finish Suits right now. I'm watching Suits. So that's kind of what I've been watching. I just finished The Terminal List. That was badass. With Chris Pratt. Kind of dove off of some stuff.
To tack onto that, what do you think our fascination is with period specific like media like that? Like we have a really strange fascination with things like look at like Lord of the Rings or like Vikings, The Witcher. We're really gung ho about making period pieces that tie into like a medieval setting.
So a lot of it is like the fantasy and the lore of it all, and like some of it's true. So like Vikings had like a lot of really good historical pieces in there. Well, not really good, but they had some historical sides to it. So it kind of gives you that realism. But like when you look at like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, it's like and even Game of Thrones, it's like it's based kind of in reality, but you still get that good fantasy aspect. And I think we just go back to like ourselves when watching it and thinking like, oh, this could be real. Like this is the kind of stuff that could have happened back then. Like, what if wizards were real? What if fucking giants were real and dragons and everything? I mean, like every culture has dragons in their like history. Like, how can you not believe dragons were real? So for me, I think it's more of like you're coming back and you're just like, you're going back to like almost like your kid's self imagination, and it's like manifesting like on the TV for you.
Yeah, I get that. I don't disagree with it. I definitely think that it does tap into like a really deep seated like it's the fantasy. It's the wonder of it. That's
like it's an escape from our reality.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because how you say like with like some of the influence for Vikings in Vinland Saga, Leif Erikson is a character, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
you're like, that's Leif Erikson, fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, so much exaggerated, but he's described as like this fucking crazy adventurer who's survived like 1,000 lives and has traveled and seen all this crazy shit. So I do get that. I get like the interest and the wonder, but it's funny because we've brought it up before in past conversations, like with yourself or with Jose the Daddy Dungeon Master. It's just we've talked. It's been a subject that's been brought up because it really is like it's just interesting that we have like such a deep interest in that.
It really is.
Are you excited or looking forward to anything that's coming out?
Warzone 2, ready to fucking get into it, unpack it, get down, and fucking just unload hours into it.
In October, right?
Well, so that's when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and
yeah.
I don't know if they said that Modern Warfare 2 is going to come out in October, and they haven't had a release date for Warzone 2 yet. I'm also really hoping that it's a lot less space on everyone's computers because fucking 130 gigs for a game is ridiculous.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing Warzone, just keep my interest in, keep the fingers loose, getting ready. I don't really play too competitively too much anymore. Like I play a lot of Plunder. Like a lot of my clips coming up on TikTok and stuff lately have been on Plunder and just dicking around and just trying new guns. And because it's the end of we're getting towards the end of Warzone. It's like I don't really have to play too serious anymore. I can just goof off a little bit. blow some steam off. So I'm just trying new builds, new weapons, not really trying to find a meta or anything, just trying to see what feels good and what's fun to play with now.
When you play now, do you specifically play with the intent, like, is there still a competitive like motive for it? Or when you play, are you like, well, I'm going to get some clips today? Like, I'm playing, obviously, like, you're playing out of interest, but also it's like, well, I'm going to get some clips out of this, so I better, like, get something in.
Yeah, I still have to keep, like, that level of good up there because it's like, yeah, we're dicking around in Plunder, but, I mean, you know, I can still hit really good shots, plays to outplay people and move around and, like, figure things out, do really cool stuff because the good thing about Plunder is you're just always coming back. So, like, I can push a full team, and if I die, who cares? I'm coming right back. And I can learn how to outplay people and fight 1v4s or 2v4s with my teammate or whoever I'm playing with. You know, I can learn how to maneuver better, and it gives you a chance to practice and just, you know, work on skills that you don't really get to work on when you're, like, in a hyper-competitive setting.
Are you reading anything currently?
I haven't been reading too much lately. I've been wanting to get back into it, so I put the book next to my bedstand.
Smart move.
Book one of the Wheel of Time series is what I'm going to start reading here soon.
What genre is that? Fantasy?
Yeah. So the Wheel of Time series aren't on Amazon Prime. They came out with the TV series.
Oh, okay.
These books are old.
Okay, I'm familiar with
These books are old.
I'm familiar with the Amazon series.
And there's like 15 books, so I got a lot of reading to do.
You know what I've been wanting to jump into it, but I know it's a longer series too, is the Dark Tower series. It was one of those it was one of those franchises that it passed me by when we were younger. But
okay, yeah. I was trying to think of what it was.
It's a Stephen King series.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things kind of like I wanted to read Dune, but I tuned into a podcast that explained Dune, and it just seems like too much.
Isn't it about people stealing spices?
Is it?
It's
Like, hey, don't steal my cumin.
That's what it's about. That just makes me want to watch it even more.
So I'm like, maybe I'll tune in. So maybe I'll try to read the Dark Tower series. I've been looking for something to like get into. This has been fucking cool. I'm glad you were available. I'm glad you were.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me, dude. I really appreciate it.
The first time around was great. I was like, well, fuck. Like, I really gotta. It's cool though. It's cool that you were willing to want to come on here.
Oh yeah, dude. Of course, anytime.
Hey,
like I said, this shit's very therapeutic. Like just hanging out and talking, it's super therapeutic.
I'll hold you to that, dude. Go ahead and plug away for anybody who wants to fucking tune into your stuff.
You guys can catch me on Twitch. Twitter is the best way to know when I go live on Twitch, so follow me there. It's always Thieves_Magic on all of that stuff. TikTok, obviously, you know, you see daily clips. I'm putting out daily clips on TikTok, so if you're into Warzone content, you can always find me on there. And I think the last thing is I'll be on one more podcast, and it's going to be a mental health one, working on mental health.
That's cool.
And trying to take away the stigma of mental health and like the bad connotation that comes with those words.
Oh, that's cool shit, dude. I'll be looking forward to that. Fuck yeah. Well, I appreciate it, dude. I'm glad that you had the time for me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude. Really appreciate it.
All right, my dude. I will. I'll let you go, but I'll be talking to you soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Later. So thank you guys for tuning in. That was our discussion with Daniel DeKeyrel of Thieves Magic, longtime friend, listener of the podcast, content creator, gamer, father. I was really happy to have him on for the entire discussion. We actually went really in depth, and I'm glad to have had him back on, which I'm sure it won't be the last time either. I'll try to get him back on again. He's a really good talk. I'm glad he's someone that I can reach out to for episodes like these. Again, I am the Elder. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm just overall really glad that you guys could tune in. That being said, go ahead and find us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram. I now have a Discord set up that I need to figure out how to use, but hopefully it's something that I do want to utilize a lot more. Obviously, we are wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, We're also on TikTok, kind of. You can find that all on our social link. Shout out to Milkshake for that. And you can also find us on Buzzsprout. Shout out to Buzzsprout for hosting us as a show. That being said, time to wrap it up. We will catch you on the next one.